It is time for the first road course race of the Gatorade Cup Series, season number 13. We head to the Watkins Glen International in New York for the running of the AAA 300. On the pole for today's road course race, Jeff Bright, the 9, beside him in second, the 10 of Ross McTrain. Then in third place, it is the 51 of Colin Teague. Fourth place, second in points, Max Rossi. And rounding out the top 5, the 4 of John Smith. Then in sixth, we have TJ Hanley. Seventh place, it's the points leader, Riley Spurley-Tube. Then Roman Fenway in eighth. Ninth place for Brandon Beal, and Jonathan Buford, the 18, rounds at the top 10. Back behind them, Eli Bright, the 88, and down beside him, the 24 of Brett Sierra. Then there's Max Anderson, the 43, and the 36 of Griffin Lynn in his final season. Then there's Nathan Baird and Evan Hunter in the 6th car, along with the 13 of Anthony Hernandez and the 95 of Cody Anderson. Then there's the 12 of Levi Shones and the 47 of Logan Williams. Then we have Baby Rose, the 00, and the 2 of Luke Rainey. Last race winner at Texas World, Keegan Thompson, and Caden Lynn beside him in the 37. Then there's Riley Sampson and the 19 of Jay Jefferson, along with Zachary DeLello and Samet Oskin, the 15. Then we have the 3 of Bronson Minnick and the 96 of Anson and Charles Bois, along with the 41 Justin Zidell and his teammate Marshall Burrell. Then there's Conrad Evans and the 34 of Diego Yepes, Nonigan Scott and Riley Cresswell, Scott Gregory teammate Code Luigi, Sebastian Kukulan and Jake Galloway, and in the final row, Derek Hamill and Jay Rando round out the 42-car field for racing here at Watkins Glen, the first road course race of the season. Let's go on trackside for the most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
.4200s come to life here at Watkins Glen for 14 laps in the AAA 300, the first of 2 road course races this season. On the front row, Jeff Bright, a longtime veteran on pole. Rookie Ross McTrain starts beside him in second. Points to Riley Spurley-Tube starts in 7th, while second in points Max Rossi starts in 4th. Pace car at the right, turn into pit road. Jeff Bright has the field in his hands. He's on the gas. The green flag's waving in the air. Let's go at Watkins Glen. The big run around the outside. Jeff Bright not well through the first few corners. All drops back from pole to 4th as Ross McTrain, the 10, leads the way off of the S's. And second place, Max Rossi got a very good start, moves his way up into P2. Down this long backstretch, huge drafting opportunity for many drivers here. Racing off into the carousel, Jeff Bright trying to get third back from Colin Teague. Right behind them in 5th, TJ Hanley and John Smith join the fun as Rossi tries to hunt down Ross McTrain for the race lead on lap number 1 as Colin Teague will complete the pass on Jeff Bright for 3rd position. Jeff going wide, Hanley looking to get beside him. Jeff up over the curve, Riley really sideways in the 22, able to rein that back up. Here comes Buford, the nice race. He did not have to get out of the gas because he got sideways. Jonathan Buford looking for a spot, points to Riley Spurley-Tube. And here comes the 17 Roman Fenway just up in front of them, looking for some spots. Trying to get by John Smith and TJ Hanley, both right here in that 17. He's probably going to be able to get by the 4th if he can get the 21 as well. That's 3 fourths packed together nicely. A battle for 5th. And I think he's going to be able to keep it, but Fenway might be able to get to 6th off of this if he can keep it up on John Smith in the 4. He will grab that spot from Smith. Still side by side with Spurley-Tube and Buford, the 18, the 22 going at it. As they enter the final corner, out in front, Ross McTrain, Max Rossi, and others. Spurley-Tube wide and into the wall, and the 22 hard. Oh, and hard hit! The 19's upside down. That's Jay Jefferson with Logan Williams, Anson, and Charles Bois. And I think that's the 38 it is of Riley Sampson. A terrible crash, and our first yellow flag of the race is out. Our race leaders have not taken the yellow. However, just about everyone else has. Only 2 cars getting away without taking the yellow flag. So that 51 of Colin Teague, he looks to be slower as if he has taken the yellow. It's only Ross McTrain and Max Rossi who have not. So nothing to focus on this battle back around to the caution flag. So we'll go take a quick look at what happened to Jay Jefferson and the other cars involved in this first yellow. Just around mid-pack, battling off into the final corner on lap 1. Logan Williams, 47, Jay Jefferson, 19, going side by side into this final corner. Williams cuts down, gets into Jefferson. Watch that hit! Oh my gosh. And then Charlebois and Riley Sampson, I don't know if they were reacting to the crash or if they had something else happen, but they came in. But oh my gosh, that hit for Jay Jefferson. Got sandwiched into the safer barrier, and a terrible hit with the 47 of Logan Williams. Another look at this. We'll get a few looks as well. Golly. Very interesting to see what happened with the 96 as well. So let's take a look right here from the stationary camera off of the final corner. Yeah, I think those two were just trying to react and miss the crash. Look at all those guys on the inside that barely missed the pit barrels. A great job by all those drivers somehow scooting away and finding their way through. So the 10 of Prospect Train led the race back around to the yellow flag with the 81 of Max Rossi in tow. The rest of the field already taken it. So Prospect Train leads at Watkins Glen, the AAA 300. There probably won't be pit stops. If there are, we'll come back to them. If not, we'll come back to the green flag with the 10 out in front. A few takers onto pit road here at Watkins Glen early on. So these pit stops coming with 11 to go. We'll restart with 10 to go. And it's Jeff Bright, Brett Sierra, the 12 is Shones, 41 Zidell, and 20 Cresswell all coming in for service. And a gas and go for Jeff as he's got to let the field go. You can see that red light at pit exit right there. There's a green light. He can go. So these drivers come in, but it's only 5 of them, which means these guys are going to be ahead. We'll see how this strategy works out for these drivers. We'll see if it pays off for them. Still Prospect Train leading the way in Watkins Glen. Green flag this time by Watkins Glen. 10 to go when we take it. 3 cars out. Logan Williams, Jay Jefferson, Anson, and Charlebois. 39 cars left running, but 5 have come down the pit lane. They're at the back of the field, including Polsier, Jeff Bright, Brett Sierra, Levi Shones, Justin Zidell, and Riley Cresswell. Prospect Train's led every lap so far from second starting position. Second in points, Max Rossi right there with them in second. As they step on the gas once again, we're back going at Watkins Glen. Nice jump for the front two. Colin Teagan third was left sleeping. Same with TJ Hanley. Fenway getting going. Anderson looking low on Jonathan Beeford. 1 car takes the pit road. It might have been the 4 of John Smith with a late move to pit road. So very interesting there to see what kind of strategy that will be for John Smith, pitting right there instead of under yellow. I mean, that 1 lap could buy you a lot. We'll see if it buys him something. See if he can make it from there possibly. Off of the S's and down the back stretch there they'll race. Anderson trying to hold off Eli Bright as the 88 moves alongside that 43, trying to take the 7th spot away from Max Anderson, and will do it on the outside with a late move to the inside for Evan Hunter on Riley's bridge with that 22. Obviously, that terrible damage after getting into the outside wall of the final corner might be impacting how that 22 can drive, as Eli Bright still trying to get some more spots, looking on Jonathan Beeford for 6th. 88 looking strong on this restart, slides up over the curb, but able to maintain. Now here comes Brandon Beal for Max Anderson's spot. Spiritum keeping it off of Hunter for now. There's Griffin Lynn, Anthony Hernandez, Nathan Baird, and Luke Rainey. Cody Anderson dropping back. Caden Lynn with him to his inside. These drivers racing hard just outside the top 10. Meanwhile, for the lead, Max Rossi pressuring Prospect Train. Train a better corner right there. Gets a little bit away from the 81, but Rossi looked a little bit faster that time by. We'll have to see if that 81 can try and close in here, and especially that final corner, that's where you can maybe gain a lot of your time. If these drivers start to swing out wide, if you can get it in narrower, you can definitely gain some time. Jumping the curbs here at Watkins Glen. Big Train off the final corner cleanly as these drivers try to get off as well. This is the most dangerous part of the racetrack. We've seen it time and time again. 52 slung wide, but keeping it straight, and so far, everyone through it. Now, first car that pitted is Jeff Bright, with Brett Sierra right with them. Shones, Cresswell, and Zidell as well. There's where John Smith is. Remember, he came in at the green flag. TJ Hanley right up to 4th. Roman Fenway 5th. Buford still 6th. Bright still 7th. Anderson 8th. Beal is now 9th. And Spirotube still hanging on to 10th. Lynn got around Evan Hunter for 11th right there, but now Hunter with another run down the straightaway in the draft. See if he can make it work into the carousel. Still hanging tough with that 36 car. Here comes Hernandez up to the outside. Some squeeze play right there for the 6 and the 13. And all the while as these guys bound, Luke Rainey, the 2's trying to come up for 13th on the 13 of Hernandez. Nathan Baird right behind him in the 15th spot. Looks like he has a pretty solid car at this stage of the race. Running inside the top 15, has gained some spots since the start of the going. As back up to the front. Here comes Rossi, looking low on McTrain, trying to get there. The 10 goes a little bit wider. Here comes Rossi, trying to get a run as he's beside the 10. Remember, he comes in second in points. I believe it's only 9 behind Riley, so if he can get a lap led here for 5 bonus points, he'll then only be 4 behind. As a yellow flag is out, and it's Jeff Bright, the 9. He's involved in the crash. Remember, he was one that came down pit road. So now we're racing back around to the yellow. We got a battle for first and a battle for third. Rossi trying to take it off McTrain. Hanley trying to take third from Teague. A battle to lead them back around to the yellow flag will be Rossi or McTrain. Ross on the inside has to give it up to the 10. But McTrain slides wide back around to the line. Too close to call. They give it to Ross McTrain. The 10 led them back around. So McTrain will be your race leader. Possibly once you get back going, because they're going to pit around the midway point. They're going to come back around the pit entrance around the midway point. Maybe they'll pit there. So Jeff Bright from pole was back in the mess because he had just came down pit road under the yellow, and now he's involved in the crash. Let's go see what happened to the driver of the 9. Jeff Bright, car number 9, trying to get by the damaged car, the 38 of Riley Sampson, and he's wrecked here before. It was with Jake Galloway in the Target Series battling up at the front, and it was basically the same thing as what happened right here. They squeezed themselves into the wall. Look at Brett Sierra miss that crash, but unfortunately for Jones, he can't miss the crash. So 2 of the 5 that had come down pit road under the yellow collected in this one, and it could have very well been 3 of the 5 as Brett Sierra was maybe mere inches from his teammate Jeff Bright, but that is the second time that has happened to Jeff Bright at this track. It may have been a different series last time, but right here, he just ran Sampson kind of out of room. I think he was hoping that the 38 would kind of give him some space. Maybe saying, hey, I'm faster, let me go, you're damaged as well. And obviously Sampson didn't want to give. It's not, you know, he doesn't have to give. And this is the end result. Pole sitter into the wall and out, along with Levi Jones in the 12. So 2 cars very well torn up in this one. Lean them back around. Ross McTrain narrowly edges Max Rossi for the lead by 1/100th of a second. Will once again come back if they pit, which I assume some of them will. Then we'll go back to the green flag. Here they come. At midway, the leaders will hit pit road. And I believe that's going to be everyone. Led by Ross McTrain. Someone staying out. Keegan Thompson feeling gutsy on the strategy call. Same with Bibby Ruiz. So maybe they think they won't be able to make it from here. And here are the drivers that came down pit road. Actually, it's kind of hard to believe that only Brett Sierra and John Smith are staying out there. Cresswell and Zidell came back into pit road. Jay Reynolds also stayed out. 51 beats the 10 off. Ross McTrain, a slow stop. Ross McTrain, the driver's led every lap so far. A slow stop and will fall back outside the top 10 for the restart. Passed by many drivers off pit road. The first one off Colin Teague, however, 5 cars stay out. Keegan Thompson, Bibby Ruiz, and Jay Reynolds not yet pitted in this race, but they're leading at Watkins Glen. How will this strategy play out, as there is a whole mixed bag of strategy? Keegan Thompson, Bibby Ruiz, Jay Randall, the top 3, have not yet made a pit stop in this race. Will they do it right here as we're going back green, or will they wait? That's the question. In 4th place, Brett Sierra, he pitted with 11 to go. It's very hard to imagine him going the rest of the distance on that tank of fuel, but you never know. John Smith pitted with 10 to go. Colin Teague first off pit road will be 6th. Then Max Rossi 7th, Hanley 8th, Fenway 9th, Buford 10th. The cars led every lap so far. Ross McTrain back down to 11th with a disastrous slow pit stop. So we'll see right here, these drivers are staying out. They're going to push their fuel as far as they can. Thompson on the gas. We're back going at Watkins Glen. So the thing here, maybe you try and catch a yellow, or you hope it goes out green to the end. You hope no one can make it. Maybe the front 3 think that no one that pitted there can make it, and that they could try and leapfrog on pit strategy. How about Brett Sierra? He has more fuel than the 3 in front of him, but doesn't have as much as the drivers behind him. He still has to go 11 laps on this tank. Maybe if we can get to 4 to go and the drivers in front of him pit, he can try and inherit the lead, hope a yellow comes out to end the race short. That's the only thing you can think of helping the 24 right now, is that he can go farther than the 3 in front of him. It's got on track position. He can try and hope this race ends under yellow. He can coast it around and try and win this race. And John Smith in 5th. He's also riding on a prayer. He has 1 lap more fuel than Brett Sierra, but laps shorter than like Colin Teague, Max Rossi, Roman Fenway, TJ Henley back behind him. McTrain's made no progress whatsoever in the 10 car. Fenway gained a spot off TJ Henley in that. Battle for 2nd. Brando on the back of Baby Ruiz, looking to try and get there. Rossi trying to be the first driver who thinks they can make it on field beside Colin Teague. Rossi was about to pass McTrain before that yellow came out, so he has a fast car. We know that. There goes Rando for 2nd on Ruiz, and Rossi clears Colin Teague, so he is the highest of the drivers that came down pit road under that last yellow. See if Rando can make the pass on Ruiz. And when does Thompson and the others come down pit road, as they're coming back around to 5 laps to go at the start-finish line. For 2nd, Ruiz beside Rando. They're still staying out. The front 3 are still staying out. So you have to think, if you're Brett Sierra, John Smith, you feel a little bit better about your fuel stuff now. If those front 3 still have not yet pitted, they've gone 9 laps on that tank. Maybe it's possible to go 11 or 10 laps. As Sierra looks to get 3rd off Rando. And he'll do it through the S's around the outside. So Sierra up to 3rd has a buffer between he and John Smith. Now can Smith get the run to get to 4th? Rando might have a run back on the Sierra in that draft. And can Sierra get to Ruiz? 24 running a defensive line down the back stretch. He's making sure that 53 pushes him instead of passing him. He's going to push him inside of Ruiz. A big dive for Brett Sierra for 2nd. He'll take it away from the 0-0. What a move for Brett Sierra. And now Ruiz back though. Here comes Rando trying to shoot the middle of that 24, trying to protect now. Still side by side for 2nd. This is clogging up John Smith and Max Rossi as well. Ruiz wide at the bottom of the boot. And Sierra takes 2nd. It's a Hendrick 1-2. Thompson won last race, is out in front, but we assume has to pit. Sierra might not have to pit. Rando Ruiz on the same stretch as the 48. The 4 basically on the same stretch as the 24. Then the 81 on back, who just came down pit road. Rossi trying to get by John Smith in the 4. This is a logjam of cars, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Rossi and Smith. Rossi might be able to get it off of the 4 this time by. Now the question, does the 48 pit this time by? Here comes Thompson. He didn't have the fuel to make it. Sierra will stay out. Those guys came down. They slowed the 81 up. So there's the 3 that we knew couldn't make it. The question is, does everyone else have to pit for fuel? And I think right now, if you're Colin Teague, you need to push to get by this 81, because you have to assume if you are the drivers behind the front 2, you can make it on fuel. And I have to think that as well, that the 51, the 81, the 17, the 21, the 18, the 88, the 10, they can make it on the tank of fuel they have. I think if you're the 24, you are definitely questionable. Those drivers went 10 laps, but they also had some yellows in there. Sierra has to go 11 laps. The thing that would save him, if a yellow comes out right now, this race would end short. He would have to coast it around instead of going full hard laps. For John Smith right here, his strategy is now possibly just to keep whatever track position he can, as he might just fall behind Colin Teague in the 51 right here. Teague, remember, on the strategy is everyone behind him. Smith on the strategy of having pitted at the first restart. Oh, he's still racing Colin Teague hard, though John Smith is. He does not want that 51 to get by him, but Teague will do it. Teague up to 2nd, as Eli Bright tries to battle John to be for first spot. That's 7th place. And McTrain has made no progress forward whatsoever, back in 9th. So the driver of the 10 may have just seen a win, his first ever in the Gatorade Cup Series, slip away. So here's the question for Sierra. If he can stay out this time, buys him another lap to possibly get a yellow. If he can't, then Colin Teague may have this race in hand. So we'll see as Sierra enters the final corner, coming around to 3 to go this time by. Sierra, confident to go another lap. Oh, Colin Teague got to come down along with the 4. And we had the 88 get the wall. Look at the damage for Eli Bright. He and Jonathan Buford made contact. Cody Anderson misses pit road. We got some others trying to get in. There's still 3 wide. So now did the 51 leapfrog all the drivers around him because he didn't put enough fuel in? And how is John Smith running lower than Brett Sierra? Even the 20 had to come back in. So this race is far from over now. If you're Keegan Thompson, you have more energy now. But the question is, what about these drivers like Rossi, Fenway, Hanley? How about Ross McTrain? Did he stay long to make sure he got enough fuel in the car? Maybe he has more fuel than anyone. He can definitely make it, while the others trying to get as quick a pit stop as they could and are now questionable. And look at the damage to Eli Bright. He and Buford must have made contact bound for that spot. Got into the wall. A lot of damage for the 88, and Buford's fallen even further back in the 18. Eli's still holding the top 10 spot. Meanwhile, Jonathan Buford is outside the top 20. So this is interesting. Did Sierra possibly stay longer on his pit stop to make sure he got fuel in the car? How about Rossi, Fenway, and Hanley? How good are they on fuel? How good is Ross McTrain on fuel? That's the top 5 right now. So now the question is, coming around to 2 to go, someone is definitely going to try and make this whole race on the 1 pit stop. The question is, who is going to be that driver? We'll see what the call is for Brett Sierra. And it looks like he'll be coming in. Sierra to pit lane. Rossi to pit lane. Fenway and Hanley as well. McTrain as well. Anderson, does anyone try and stay under the lap? It will be Cement Oskin. No, it won't. 77 sliding in. It will be Scott Gregory, the 1. He stays out. Scott Gregory inherits the race lead with 2 to go. 34 is staying out there. Is that Yepez? Is that Cole Luigi? Remember, Luigi dropped really far in points after the last race out. Now he's up to 3rd. But where does Keegan Thompson cycle out? Around those drivers that just come off pit road. There's Keegan. The 51's out in front of him. So Colin Teague is the one we have to watch for with the 24 of the others. Teague takes 2 to go. He's the highest of the drivers that have come down pit road. But he won't be the one. Brett Sierra's the highest of the guys that have come down pit road. So if everyone has to pit, if those front 3 cannot make it, Sierra is in the catbird seat to try and win this race. There he is. The guy behind him next highest is Colin Teague, then Rossi, then Fenway, then there's where Keegan cycles out. For Keegan, it was not a bad call, though. He's right now 5th of the guys that have pitted. He started back outside the top 15, so it would be a net gain for the 48 if this thing works out. The 48 and the drivers that are on that strategy, like the 53 and the 00, maybe works out for them. Same with Conrad Evans. He really gained a lot of spots in the 8. He came in early. We'll have to see. Can the front 3 make it on fuel? It's Scott Gregory, just his 2nd start of the season. Diego Yepez, who comes in 3rd in points. Code Luigi, 5th in points, was leading points before Texas World happened. So here we come. Scott Gregory is going to take the white flag, be it on the racetrack or on pit road. Final corner. The driver of the 1 has to pit. 34 and 42. 34 to pit lane, but 42 not to pit lane. Code Luigi will take the white flag. Does he have the fuel to come back around and finish is the question. He led the white. Brandon Beal's still on pit road issues there in the 62. There's Brett Sierra. He'll take the white flag. We know he's good on fuel. How's the 42 on fuel? Sierra may just see this race slip right through his fingers because of a call for Code Luigi. He still has half a lap to go, and he needs to make sure he can make it around the whole way. If this thing stumbles any little bit, he's not making it back around to the checkered flag. That'd be a disastrous points day. He's won here before in the Gatorade Cup Series, but it's been a while. It's been so long since he's gone 2 wins or more in a season. The last time he did that was his championship season. Is today the day where he gets back to victory lane for a multi-win Gatorade Cup Series season? Off of the boot well for Code Luigi. Sierra hoping that 42 sputters any little bit. Will the strategy work out for Code Luigi? Final time. Into the final 2 corners. Turns 10-11. If he has to come down pit road, it's then going to be a drag race with Brett Sierra. Final corner. Code Luigi through it. And will stay out. Second win of the season. Code Luigi steals another one in Season 13, this time at Watkins Glen. Brett Sierra is going to get second in the 24 as he rounds the final corner. A strategy call for Sierra gets him second. But so close to victory. Teagland up third. Rossi fourth. Fenway fifth. Thompson sixth. Rando in seventh. Ruiz, Hunter, and Hernandez complete the top 10 finishers. A strategy call for Code Luigi somehow pays off. He's in victory lane. But we have to see what happened to Jonathan Buford and Eli Brett as they made contact, got together, and it relegated their finishes to outside the top 10. A battle for 7th between Jonathan Buford and Eli Brett going to go wrong in this final corner as Eli almost has the pass made on Buford. The 18, I think, misjudges this. I think he tried to get in behind the 88, look for a crossover. He got into him, set them both up into the wall. Hard contact for the 88, hard contact for the 18, and both those cars damaged to where they don't finish inside the top 10 after having very good runs going and potentially being threats for the win. That is heartbreak for those two. Eli's definitely not going to be happy with Buford after what happened there. Code Luigi didn't talk about him all race long. He started at the back of the field, but he played the strategy right, saved fuel, got to victory lane. Let's go see the finish results of the update point standings. Here's how they finished in the AAA 300 at the Watkins Glen International. 2 caution flags for 4 laps here today, and 3 lead changes. 4 different drivers led here today in Watkins Glen, and it was Code Luigi who won this race based purely off a strategy, as most other drivers made 2 pit stops, or had to make a pit stop under green, I should say. Code Luigi made his only pit stop under yellow, saved fuel, and won this race. He started back in 37th, but gets to victory lane. Brett Sierra was the guy who I thought had the strategy to win this race. He, Jeff Wright, Levi Shones, Riley Cresswell, and Justin Zeidel all came in under their first yellow. While it didn't save them an extra trip to pit road, they made 2 pit stops in this race. It got them track position before they had to make the second pit stop. That was Brett Sierra, the only one that really did that. Colin Teague ends up in 3rd. He had to make 2 stops in this race. Max Rossi ends up in 4th and 5th place to Roman Fenway. Then Keegan Thompson almost backed up the win with another one. He ends up in 6th though. Jay Randall 7th, Bibi Ruiz 8th, Evan Hunter and Anthony Hernandez round out the top 10 finishers. Conrad Evans, good strategy for him. He gets 11th. Really, the drivers who started poorly in this race: Code Luigi 37th, Keegan Thompson 23rd, Rando 41st, Ruiz 21st, Evans 34th, Oskin 28th, Scott Gregory 38th, Justin Zeidel 31st, Minnick 29th, Burrow 32nd. Those drivers finished inside the top 20. Those are the cars that had the best strategy going for them today. Ross McTrain was someone who did not play the strategy right, as he had a long pit stop under his first stop. He started second, led the first 7 laps untouched, but once he lost that track position in pit road, never could recover for the driver of the 10. Yepes gets 21st out of the day, Luke Rainey 22nd. Galway started back in 40th, but gets 24th, so a lot of shuffling in the pack here for finishing positions just because of that pit strategy. A lot of drivers who start at the front maybe finished in the back because of the strategy. A lot of drivers who start at the back finished at the front because of the strategy. That is what road course racing is all about, especially here at Watkins Glen. And there are the guys that are out. Jeff Bright was maybe on a strategy to be up at the front with Brett Sierra, but involved in the crash with Riley Sampson, ends up in 39th. Let's now go see the point standings. Here are the points after 6 races. Code Luigi, the first multi-time winner of the season, picks up his 2nd of the season and regains the points lead, 7 points up on Max Rossi, who ends up 2nd in points now. Jay Reno is 3rd, Diego Yepes is 4th, and Riley Spurgeon down to 5th. TJ Henley's right now 6th, Nathan Baird in 7th, Max Anderson, Derek Hamill, and Keegan Thompson moves up to the top 10 in points. So 5 winners so far this season, 4 of which are top 10 in points. Right now the 2 wildcards go to Bibi Rose 11th and Bronson Minnick 12th in the point standings. As some of these drivers here trying to regain after some bad weeks and are doing a good job at it. Other winner, Jake Galloway, now down 24th in points, but still very close to being inside the top 20 for a wildcard spot. And some drivers who really need good days. Some of them had it today, like Conrad Evans got a decent day. Same with Ross McTrain. But Jay Jefferson fell in points. Riley Sampson fell in points. Brett Stewart really needed this day up to 29th. Marshall Burrow top 20 up to 31st. Hernandez had a decent day. DeLello 32nd in points. Samet Oskin had a good day, but then Jeff Bright didn't need that DNF. Eli Bright didn't need to get involved with Jonathan Beeford there as they dropped points. Logan Williams, same story there. Griffin Lynn had one of his best finishes of the season. In fact, I think it was his second best finish this season. Scott Gregory, once again, another good finish for the driver of the one, has had a decent start to his season so far. So 6 races in, our first road course in the bank. Now we're heading to another crazy racetrack as we go to the 1 Mile Hillside International for the Exalta 400. I will see you guys then.